Hello and thanks for streaming us on this first full weekend of December. I'm meteorologist Chris McGinness and we're talking snow. Are we really? Yes, we are really. Up at Timberline. No, we do have the snow potential in the valley, but I wanted to start off up at Timberline. It is going to snow hard up there all day, maybe another 2 to 6 inches up at the Cascade Ski Resorts today. So, not storm riding, but certainly a good day for Cascade snow. All right, let me tell you the areas where there are no questions in my forecast today. The Gorge, Central Oregon, and the Columbia Basin. You're all under winter weather advisories. You will see snow. You will see accumulating snow, probably to the tune of about 2 to 6 inches. The questions reside for this big purple area across western Oregon and southwest Washington. Weather Service has issued a winter weather advisory until 6 p.m. Not everybody is going to run the risk of accumulating snow, but some folks might. And in those areas, it might be impactful enough that you are going to wish you knew about it, right? So there are all the caveats. That said, let's show you what's going on now as we look at our Wells Fargo sky camera pointed south. No longer can we see the Cascade foothills, so the clouds thickening up, the ceilings coming down as in the base of the clouds, and the precipitation in some cases is starting to reach the ground. The air at the ground is still really, really dry, but in some cases we're now overcoming that, and we are seeing snow or some ice pellets or even some raindrops falling. All right, you're probably sitting at home asking, how in the world can it snow when it's currently 41 degrees? It's 41 degrees at PDX. Yeah, too warm for snow. The dew point, though, is 22. We have this thing called wet bulb in meteorology where we can figure out what happens when the air saturates, what's going to happen to the temperature, because we get evaporative cooling. So 41 minus 22, just for kicks, let's call it 20, divide by 3, that's 7. That number, 7, we subtract that from 41, we get 34. That basically indicates the maximum cooling potential of precipitation in Portland. That could get the temperature down to about 34 degrees. Is that cold enough for snow? Not on the valley floor. However, there are a lot of locations that are already a little cooler than this, where cooling a few degrees could get us cold enough to see accumulating snow. So that's why this has been kind of a tricky forecast. I don't think the lowest elevations, Portland and Vancouver specifically in the metro area, probably do not see accumulating snow. The temperature will drop, but probably not enough to give us accumulations. Now, as we go out just a little bit wider, Scappooses have been bouncing around a little bit. Right now, they're at 36 degrees. Happy Valley up at 1,000 feet is 34. Let's go out a little wider still. Check this out. Kelso's at the freezing mark right now. Salem's at 38. So some folks do not have to cool nearly as much to see snow stick on the ground. And that's why this event is going to be, some folks are going to get an inch or two, and some folks are just going to see snowflakes or maybe just plain rain. And that's our situation, I think, for the day today. Through the Gorge, through the Columbia Basin, Central and Eastern Oregon, there are no questions for you. It's going to be snow, and you'll likely see several inches of snow. So we'll show you the snowfall potential in just a second. Radar has begun to fill in just a little bit. When we first went on the air this morning at 6 a.m., it wasn't nearly this filled in, but the returns are coming in. They're getting a little heavier, and modeling suggests that these radar returns will get heavier as we progress through the morning. That's something that we absolutely need if we're going to see any threat of accumulating snow. And so far, modeling is doing a decent job of picking up. Here's the radar over the last 3 hours. All of our modeling suggested that the precipitation would be moving in around 8 o'clock or so and filling in, and that so far is happening. Here's a look at Futurecast. The east wind continues blowing through the Columbia River Gorge, feeding in that cold, dry air at the surface, right? That's a very important ingredient as the precipitation moves in. Initially, all of this stuff evaporates before it hits the ground, but that evaporation is what creates the cooling that's necessary to get temperatures down to near freezing. As the precipitation rates increase, this is Futurecast at noon, and then we'll roll it up until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It suggests a band kind of sets up east-west from Washington and Columbia County through Clark County that, hey, if this goes for hours and the rates are high enough, we could drive the temperatures down low enough to see accumulating snow. Eventually, south of the area, precipitation shuts off, and the lighter the amounts, there's just not enough cooling capacity for us to really worry about it. But suffice it to say, it's a tricky forecast. I still think the valley is generally okay, but if in a perfect world, if everything worked out just right, the higher terrain in western Washington, Yamhill, Columbia County, Clark, and Cowlitz County could see 1 to 4 inches of snow. That could happen. In the Willamette Valley, probably not. We would have to take literally every ounce of precipitation, turn it into snow, and have it stick. And so that's why I think these numbers, especially in Portland and south, are probably overdone. but we're watching it because, hey, what else are you going to watch on a Sunday, right? I've got Portland generally hovering in the upper 30s with a wintry mix. Temperatures tonight stay above freezing in Portland, so even if we manage any accumulation, we're probably going to melt things out even after we get that dusting. And then we go partly sunny on Monday with highs in the 40s. Beyond today, the next threat for significant weather is later next week, either late Wednesday or Thursday with rain. This will be rain in the valley and cascade snow, heavy cascade snow returning towards the tail end of next week. Thanks for streaming us on KGW+. I'm meteorologist Chris McGinness. I hope you have a fine finish to your weekend.